Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Year Round, and today I'm talking about the new Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World Rebirth. That's right, the seventh installment in a franchise that's been running since I first saw the original Jurassic Park at 4 years old in the theaters. Yes, my parents took me to see it because I love dinosaurs that much. And I have to say, for a movie that out of everyone in this franchise, this is the one that I probably went in with the lowest expectations just because of how the previous Jurassic World trilogy went. And I have to say, it is by no means a great film, in quotes, but it's a lot of fun. Let's get into why. Something we all have to admit about the Jurassic Park and World movies is that there aren't really any great sequels. You have the original, which is, in my not so humble opinion, the greatest Universal movie ever made, one of the greatest movies ever made. It captured the magic, the wonder of dinosaurs, and the horror of technology gone wrong. It is a perfect movie. And every single attempt to do a sequel has just failed miserably one way or another. I am going to be doing an entire ranking of the franchise, so I'm going to save some of my more specific thoughts for that video. But the context of this one is Jurassic World Rebirth is the first sequel in the franchise, maybe since 3, that isn't taking itself too seriously. It's not trying to reinvent anything. It's not trying to do anything profound. It's not trying to mimic anything from the earlier movies. And there's an enormous amount of talent, both in front of the camera with the likes of Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and John Bailey, as well as behind the camera with David Koepp screenwriting. He's been there since the beginning, as well as Gareth Edwards directing, both of whom are incredibly, successful in their respective fields. So what works about Jurassic World Rebirth, yes, you've got this MacGuffin plot where, oh, we have to go to there was another other island where they did weird experiments and we have to go there to get dinosaur blood for heart medication. Who cares? And that's the thing. The movie doesn't really care. The movie doesn't spend all that much time trying to justify why these people are going on this mission. It also has to kind of work around the constraints the previous Jurassic World movies did with the dinosaurs being out in the wild. I think it does so, though, in a way that makes sense, that makes more sense than it did in Dominion, where if you think about these are prehistoric creatures who lived on the planet when it was a very different planet. So the fact that they can only be in a certain region in the world kind of makes sense. No, where
We
Jurassic
need
World
DNA
Rebirth
from the 3
shines
biggest
is
dinosaurs.
it is
Do
a
we have to get a
big,
sample from an
dumb,
egg?
fun, wacky adventure monster sci-fi channel original movie. But here's the thing. It knows that it is. Yes, you do have attempts at character arcs and motivations, but at no point does this movie feel like it's trying to preach anything. It doesn't. It, like, barely scratches the surface of the rich themes of the original. You know, unchecked technology yields danger. The whole, should we versus could we do something? The whole nature of cloning and all that the Jurassic World trilogy gets into. It never really attempts to do much with any of that. And it sort of just feels like, hey, let's have an excuse to drop some people on the island and have them try to survive. And this is just we're just it's a straight up survival adventure horror monster movie, and we're not even going to pretend we're doing anything else. So yes, there are plenty of cheesy campy moments, especially with, this isn't really spoiling too much. You have your main crew that are there to get the dinosaur blood. You randomly have this family, you know, with the dad and his daughters and his older daughter's annoying boyfriend that For a good part of the movie, you're definitely rooting for him to be eaten by a dinosaur. And you could take them out of it completely and it wouldn't change a thing. It is painfully obvious that they were only there so that you could have a child there in danger to increase the suspense. And the boyfriend feels more like a cartoon character than an actual real human. But again, you don't really mind all that because you're having just so much fun. It's brilliantly directed. The action scenes are genuinely tense and thrilling. It's shot on 35 millimeter film again, so the movie itself looks absolutely gorgeous. Granted, I do wish they had gone more with animatronics. If there's one thing I could say positively about Dominion, it did kind of go back to basics with animatronics versus CGI for a lot of it. Here, everything's just CGI. And a lot of the dinosaurs we're seeing aren't even real dinosaurs. I say that in quotations like these movies ever had real dinosaurs in them. What I mean is they weren't actual dinosaurs that we know of from paleontology. A lot of the dinosaurs on this island are these like mutant hybrid ones that again you can kind of tell Gareth Edwards is just going full sci-fi. I mean, look, this is the guy that made 2014's Godzilla, and it definitely shows, especially in that opening scene. But overall, I really enjoyed it for what it was. It turned out this was the Regal mystery movie this week, and I'm so glad that it was, not just because I got an awesome popcorn bucket and cup, but it was just fun to see it in a theater, a packed theater with a crowd where everyone's kind of feeding on the energy. Everyone's, holding their breath, at a tense scene where a dinosaur is trying to, eat someone alive. Is Jurassic World Rebirth a great movie? I can't say that it is. I can't say that it's brilliantly written. It is well shot. It is well shot and well acted. I can't say that it has rich themes. I can't say that it's profound. I can't say that if I'm doing a top 10 movies of the year, this would even be anywhere near it. But what I can say is I had an extremely large amount of fun watching it. I enjoyed it for what it is. Every single Jurassic Park and World sequel has tried to replicate what came before. It tries to shove nostalgia down our throat in weaponized fashion. Jurassic World Rebirth is the first one that it finally feels like behind the scenes they said, you know what? Let's just give them a big, dumb, fun, campy dinosaur survival adventure thriller. And that's exactly what it is. So I had fun with it. Um, These are just my thoughts. This is just my rant. This is just my review. Let me know in the comments, what did you think of Jurassic World Rebirth? Were you also at the Regal Mystery Movie and saw it as well? Like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. If you don't, you may end up stuck on a weird island, like the fifth island that you didn't even know existed, that has weird mutant hybrid dinosaurs, one of which is basically supposed to be like a xenomorph, and he's called a D-Rex, even though that has another connotation to it. And as always, every day is Halloween.